Alright boys, Deus 2 version 200. Now that's a different colonial nail, but it's, see the head's missing on it maybe. It's sort of flat. You see that nickel down there, okay? Since the fast is going to be run in full tones with a notch of 0 through 5, silencer 2, the sensitive FT is going to be run in full tones with the same notch 0 through 5, the same speed. Sensitive FT silencer is number 2. So if you hit that in the wall there, what would you hear? You hear that? Silencer 2. Alright, so we do hear the nickel. Fast program. Remember what I said. Same notch, but it's in full tones with a silencer of 2. What do we hear? You hear that? You got high tone coming in that meter, don't you? Now that's full tones, remember that. Okay, back to the sensitive FT. Fast sweep. Fast sweep, you could probably miss that. Alright, I'm going to dial this disc up. Number 9. I could probably have higher odds of finding that with a higher disc. I'll dial it up a little more here. There's 22. Okay, so with a higher disc, it's 6.8. Now what I will do is I'll go back in here. Remember what my notch setting is now. Here's 6.8. You hear that? 6.3. Okay, we're getting the nail there. 6.5. So on a faster sweep, 6.5 disc there. And I'm gonna raise the disc back to 9. A 9 disc there may be yielding more, okay? Now I've checked another colonial nail. And I'll tell you what I suspect here. Now let me lower this disc back down to 6.8 and sweep this. Let me turn this camera off briefly. Okay, I'm at 6.8. Okay, and I've still got that 0 through 5 notch full tone sensitive FT. Alright, now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to let the notch down to 0 through 04. So that helps us. Alright. So, and this will get rid of most iron too, by the way. So what is happening is on your smaller nails, and I will take this nickel out of here, okay? So if you come down the barrel of a smaller nail running this sensitive FT, but notice what the fast program did on that in full tones with the same notch. I'm going to go over here. Actually, all I need to do is take the notch out of this machine, okay? We'll sweep this nail right here. You see that nail, what it's reading? 2. Okay? Now, the other nail that I checked where I didn't see what I showed in an earlier video, and this video too, by the way. If you come down the barrel of a nail that's reading lower ID, like that one, okay, just with a 0 through 05 notch, well, that nickel with a 6.8 disc, and then you can even lower the disc, you're not going to get any help, but you get help raising the disc. Okay, So if you come down a lot of nails, you won't see what I showed in that mind-blowing video per se. Alright? Meaning a bigger, a higher ID reporting nail. But see what that one is reporting. Okay? So the machine is having to go from a 2 on sweeps to get on that nickel. Well, if that nail read a 3, that would make a difference coming like I was earlier in that video. But again, you don't know what you're sweeping out there in the wild when it comes to iron. And you can already see the fast programming, even in full tones, does better on that with that nickel down there. Okay? And you're not going to find, I'm not exactly sure where the nickel was, but I'm not going to sweep it. But if you sweep that scenario like I showed earlier with sensitive full tones, no notch, well, again, would you hear that nickel? Even with max offset, well, the sharpshooter says he wouldn't find it, okay? Not sweeping from that direction, coming from over here, yes. Okay? So yeah, if you're gonna run sensitive FT, now, would a person run sensitive FT notching down the iron range? Well, I guess you could. You could. But remember, if you do that, you see what could happen to you coming down the barrels of smaller nails. Now remember, that's a 1 nail scenario, but that could exist in the wild. I could try this on a gold ring and just to see versus a nickel, but there's enough evidence there supporting, you know, what this machine is doing. Okay? So sensitive FT, it comes up short in some detecting scenarios versus the fast program. Now remember, that's a shallow, you know, that's not every detecting scenario in the world, okay? But still, you could sweep over something like that in the wild and it could be a good relic, maybe a gold ring, or a nickel, or a gold coin. Alright? I hope you enjoyed. Let me turn this camera back on here just for a minute. Now, I've looked at this nail doing what I did in that mind-blowing video. Alright, I'm in the sensitive FT silencer 2. See what that nail's reading? So I didn't show a video with that nail this morning, okay? But you see what it reads. Alright, now in this video, this is the nail I use right here. Okay? I'll let you look at it. Okay? Now that particular nail there performed better than the nail I used in the mind-blowing video. Okay, you see the meter there? So we're getting a 2 on that nail. Here's the nail I used in the mind-blowing video, and I'm going to lay it down beside the nail I used in this video. Now notice that nail is longer. So I'm going to leave that nail laying there. This is the nail I used in the mind-blowing video, right there, okay? See that meter? It likes to trend to 1 versus a 2 or a 3, okay? So that nail right there, with a nickel out here to the side running a 0 through 5 notch and sensitive FT, is going to give better performance with a higher disc setting. Even higher than 6. It won't give a better performance in a scenario like I showed with a lower than 6.8. It will be higher. Okay? Just like I showed in the video. The mind-blowing video. Now using this nail here that reports as a 2, I've seen similar behavior, but that nail there was more mind-blowing, so to speak. And using that nail there that reads a 3, less mind-blowing. I didn't see anything that really stuck out to me, meaning I could run this machine sensitive full tones with a silencer of 2 with a notch of 0 through 5 and get some good detection. Raising the disc didn't seem to help that signal, unlike the 2 nails here, especially that one, the one that reads predominantly a 1 in the meter. So this is stuff for you all to think about in a while, because iron reads different on this machine. Even a point or 2 can make a difference depending on how you have this machine set up. Sensitive full tones. But now still remember, if I put 2 of these nails down here and put that nickel over there at that 2x4, 0 notch, no notch, sensitive FT, the sharpshooter can't find the nickel. He can't locate the nickel based on audio signature on this detector, in his opinion. Okay? If I use that nail right there left of that clad or nickel, and I do a similar test, silencer 2, the machine has a tendency to give high tone, just like what you've seen in the fast program. Okay? So your nail scenario out there, as far as what it is going to drive what you could hear on this detector and how it's going to behave. You know? The brain surgeon didn't tell you all about that, though, did he? I hope you enjoyed.